In the last video, we talked about Jack's terrible discovery. His mother mortgaged everything, their home, his company, to invest in land. But the land is worthless. It's trapped in an industrial zone planning. The money is gone and the bank is waiting. We ended with a question: who is watching all of this unfold? Is it Miss Thu, Mum Loi's old friend? Or is there someone more dangerous waiting to strike? Today we're going to answer that question. And the truth is more complicated than you might think. There isn't just one person watching. There are several, and each one has different reasons. Let's look at who they are. First, there's Miss Thu. Miss Thu is definitely watching, but not in the way you might expect. She's not hiding in the shadows like a cartoon villain. She's watching from her own house, paralyzed by fear, guilt, and cowardice. Remember, Miss Thu brought this investment opportunity to Mum Loi. She convinced her oldest friend to buy the land. Now the land is effectively seized by the government's planning. Whether Miss Thu knew the truth from the very beginning, or discovered it too late, she is responsible. Every day Miss Thu wakes up thinking about Mum Loi. She wonders, should I call her? Should I tell her the truth? Should I confess? But she's terrified. If she admits what happened, their decades of friendship will be destroyed. The whole community will know that Miss Thu betrayed her best friend and led her to financial ruin. So Miss Thu watches. She waits. She hopes somehow a miracle will happen. Maybe the government planning will suddenly be cancelled. Maybe she won't have to face the music. But deep down, Miss Thu knows the truth won't stay hidden forever. Second, there are the real criminals. The people who actually designed this fraud scheme are watching too. And they're watching very carefully. These people are professionals. This isn't their first land scam. They find desperate, debt-ridden people like Miss Thu. They offer them a hefty commission to bring in rich, trusting investors like Mum Loi. Then they disappear with the profits, leaving the middleman and the victim to tear each other apart. Right now, these criminals are watching to see if anyone will investigate. They know Jack went to the land site. They know he has resources. Will Jack report the fraud to the police? Will he hire a lawyer? If Jack starts making noise, they are prepared to take action. They don't play fair, and they will protect their stolen billions at any cost. Third, there's someone unexpected. Uncle Dune. Uncle Dune cares deeply about Mum Loi. We know from other stories that he has genuine feelings for her. He wants to be close to her, to protect her. Uncle Jung is an observant man. Lately, he's noticed that Mum Loi seems constantly worried. She's distracted. She talks about this land investment obsessively, always asking when the market will be right to sell. Uncle Jung also notices something else. Jack is acting incredibly strange. Whenever Uncle Jung sees Jack, the young CEO looks exhausted, stressed, carrying an invisible mountain on his shoulders. Something is profoundly wrong. Uncle Jung can feel it, but because he respects their privacy, he hasn't pushed. So he watches. He pays attention, trying to figure out what's happening so he can step in when they finally ask for help. Because that's what you do when you care about someone. And fourth, there's Tien. Tien doesn't know she's watching a financial disaster unfold. She doesn't know there's anything to watch regarding real estate or mortgages. But she notices changes in Jack. He's distant. He's quiet. He works late every night, staring blankly at his computer screen. When she tries to talk to him, his mind is miles away. Tien is worried. She is a simple vegetable vendor who fell in love with a successful man. Her deepest insecurity is that she isn't good enough for him. She wonders if Jack is losing interest in her. She wonders if there's another woman from his wealthy world. She has absolutely no idea that Jack is actually carrying a crushing secret about his family's impending bankruptcy. So Tien watches Jack closely. She's looking for clues. She's trying to understand why the man she loves suddenly feels so far away. Here is what makes this situation so explosive. Everyone is keeping secrets from everyone else. Jack is keeping the impending bankruptcy a secret from his mother and his girlfriend. Miss Thu is keeping her betrayal a secret from Mum Loi. The criminals are hidden in the shadows. Uncle Jung suspects a crisis but keeps his silence. Tien feels her relationship crumbling but doesn't know how to confront it. When this many people are hiding this many things, the situation becomes unstable. It's a tower of blocks stacked way too high. And the truth isn't going to leak out slowly. When the tower falls, it's going to crash down from all sides at once. The breaking point. The collapse doesn't happen over months. It happens over one agonizing week, where the universe decides the secrets can no longer be kept. It starts with a simple rumor at the market. Tien is at her stall. organizing her vegetables, when she overhears two other vendors chatting. "My husband works in real estate," one woman says. "He was telling me about a massive land fraud happening in the Eastern District. People bought land that's been locked in industrial zone planning for over a year. The government is taking it all. They lost everything." Tien pauses, a chill running down her spine. "That's terrible," she says. "Yeah," the woman continues, shaking her head. "One of the victims is some wealthy businessman's mother. I feel so bad for them. Can you imagine losing all your money in one day?" Tien's heart drops. She remembers Jack's sudden stress. She remembers Mum Lloyd talking proudly about her new land investment in the Eastern District. That night she asks Jack casually, "How is your mother doing? I heard some scary rumors about land fraud today. It made me think of her investment." Jack freezes. The color drains from his face completely. "She's fine," he lies. But his voice is tight, strained, almost trembling. Tien watches him. She doesn't push further. But now she knows. He is hiding something massive. While Tien is putting the pieces together, the criminals decide to make their move. They realize Jack is too smart. He's a CEO, he won't just let his family go bankrupt without a fight. They need to shut him down before he goes to the authorities. 2 days later, as Jack leaves his office late at night, a well-dressed man steps out of the shadows, polite, but with dead, threatening eyes. "Mr. Jack," the man says smoothly, "I understand your mother made a poor investment recently. Land that's unfortunately in industrial planning." Jack's guard goes up immediately. "Who are you?" "A friend offering advice," the man says. "Sometimes it's better to accept your losses quietly. Trying to fight, trying to dig up names. It makes things complicated. Your mother is an elderly woman. She wouldn't want any trouble. Neither would your lovely girlfriend. Tien, right? She sets up her vegetable stall so early in the morning. It can be dangerous out there in the dark." Jack feels the blood freeze in his veins. They are watching Tien. "Stay away from my family," Jack snarls, his fists clenched. "Then accept the loss. Move on." "That's the smart choice," the man replies, walking away into the night. Jack is left standing in the cold. He is completely cornered. If he fights, his loved ones are in physical danger. If he does nothing, the bank will take his home and his company. The very next morning, the final string snaps. Mum Loy reaches her limit. For weeks she has been trying to get Miss Thu to go visit their land together. And for weeks Miss Thu has made endless pathetic excuses. "I'm sick, I'm busy, my cousin is visiting." Mum Loy is a trusting woman, but she is not a fool. The evasion has sparked a deep, uncomfortable suspicion in her gut. She decides she doesn't need Miss Thu. She will go herself. She takes a taxi to the land site. When she arrives, she expects to see a quiet, valuable plot of land waiting for a buyer. Instead, she sees reality. The massive government signs, area designated for industrial development, land acquisition in progress, building strictly prohibited. Mom Loy stands there, staring. She reads the notices again and again, praying to a god she hopes is listening that she is at the wrong address. But the plot numbers match perfectly. A construction worker walks by and notices the pale, shaking elderly woman. "Are you okay, Auntie?" "This land," Mum Loy whispers, her voice breaking. "When did these signs go up?" The worker sighs with pity. "A long time ago, Auntie. Over a year. A lot of people got tricked buying around here. Whoever sold it to you knew exactly what they were doing. Over a year. The planning was public long before Miss Thu brought her the papers. Miss Thu didn't make a mistake. Miss Thu deliberately, calculatingly lied to her." Mum Loy feels the earth open up beneath her. She thinks about the house title, mortgaged at the bank. She thinks about her son's company, put on the line for her ambition. All of it poured into dirt that belongs to the government. Her legs give out. She collapses onto the dusty roadside, weeping uncontrollably. The financial loss is catastrophic, but the betrayal from a lifelong friend is a knife twisting in her heart. She can't call Jack. She is too ashamed. Her hands shaking violently, she calls the only other person she trusts. "Uncle Doon," she sobs into the phone. "Please, come get me. I've ruined everything." The aftermath. Facing the ruins. By that evening, the house of cards has completely collapsed. Uncle Doon brings a devastated Mum Loy back to her mansion. A mansion she now knows she no longer owns. Jack arrives home to find his mother catatonic on the sofa, with Uncle Doon standing guard. Tien is there too, holding the mortgage documents she finally found hidden in Jack's drawer. There are no more secrets left to keep. Only the brutal, undeniable truth. The first 24 hours are agonizing. Mum Lo doesn't just shrug this off. She breaks down completely. She is an elderly woman who worked her whole life to build a legacy for her son. And in one terrible decision born of greed and misplaced trust, she destroyed it all. "I'm so stupid," she wails, refusing to eat or sleep. "I mortgaged your future, Jack. I threw it all away." Jack tries to comfort her, but the guilt of hiding it from her eats at him too. "I knew, Mum. I found out weeks ago. I just didn't know how to tell you." Mum Lo looks at him, heartbroken. "You let me live in a fantasy? You thought I was too weak to handle the truth of my own mistakes?" But the emotional fallout isn't the only problem. The financial reality is knocking at the door. They sit around the dining table, the documents spread out like a coroner's report. "How much time do we have?" Tien asks quietly. Jack rubs his eyes. "Not much. The interest is compounding. I can't secure a loan big enough to cover both the mansion and the company properties. If we try to borrow from loan sharks, we'll end up dead. And the scammers threatened you too, Tien. I can't go to the police without putting you in danger." "So what do we do?" Mum Lo whispers. "We surrender," Jack says, his voice cracking. "We let the bank take the collateral. They will seize the mansion. They will liquidate my company's assets to clear the debt. It's the only way to zero out what we owe without going to prison or getting hurt." Silence falls over the room. It's a death sentence for their current life. Jack will no longer be a CEO. He will be a man with nothing, forced to find a mid-level job at someone else's company just to survive. Mum Lo will be homeless. Then comes the confrontation that had to happen. 2 days later, Miss Thu has the nerve to show up at the gate, crying, begging for forgiveness. Mum Lo walks out to meet her. The air between them is dead. "How much?" Mum Lo asks. Her voice is devoid of anger, which makes it even more terrifying. "How much did they pay you to sell my life?" Miss Thu falls to her knees, sobbing. 200 million? I was drowning in debt, Loy. They offered me a commission. I was desperate. I kept hoping the planning would change." Mum Loy looks at the woman she considered a sister. 200 million VND. Less than 10% of what Mum Loy lost. That was the price tag on 30 years of loyalty. "You didn't just steal my money," Mum Loy says coldly. "You stole my son's company. You stole the roof over my head. You watched me smile and drink tea with you while you knew you would push me off a cliff. I'm sorry. Please, I'll find a way to pay you back. You have nothing to pay me with." Mum Loy turns around. "Don't ever come near my family again. You are dead to me." The choices we make in the dark. With the betrayal cemented and the bank preparing to seize their assets, the family is pushed to their absolute limits. This is where true character is revealed. Tien faces the hardest test of her life. Her friends at the market tell her to run. He's bankrupt. Why tie yourself to a sinking ship? You've been poor your whole life. You finally found a rich man, and now he's poorer than you. Tien thinks about the comfortable future she had dreamed of. It's gone. If she stays, she will be tying herself to a man with immense debt, a broken mother, and a shattered ego. That night, she sits next to Jack on the steps of the house they are about to lose. "Jack," she says softly, "I only have my vegetable stall. I can't save your company. I can't buy back your house. If we stay together, we are starting from below zero. Will you resent me because I can't fix this with money?" Jack looks at her, tears welling in his eyes. He had expected her to leave. He felt he deserved it. To Tien, money comes and goes. But finding a woman who doesn't run away when the house is burning down, that is worth more than any company I could ever build. "I could never resent you. I only fear I'm ruining your life." Tien takes his hand, her grip calloused from years of hard labor, but infinitely strong. "I know how to survive the cold, Jack. We will rebuild. Together." She chooses love over comfort. She chooses partnership over security. And then there is Uncle Dung. He has watched this tragedy quietly, offering a shoulder to cry on but knowing he cannot solve a multi-billion VND banking crisis. But as the move-out date approaches, he sits down with Mum Loy. "I know the bank is taking this house," Uncle June says gently. "And I know Jack's salary at his new job will barely cover your daily living expenses right now." He places a bank book on the table. "I have 500 million VND in life savings. I'm an old man with no children. It's not enough to save the mansion or the company, but it is enough to rent a secure, decent little house for the two of us, and give Jack a tiny bit of breathing room to get back on his feet." Mum Loy stares at the bank book, overwhelmed. "I can't take this." I can't drag you into my ruin. I have nothing left to offer you. Uncle June smiles, a warm, steady smile. I'm not asking for collateral though. I'm asking to take care of you. We'll sign a formal loan if it makes your pride feel better. Pay me back in 10 years. But let me help you now. In her darkest, most humiliating moment, when the friend she trusted most had destroyed her, this quiet man offered her a lifeline. He gave her the one thing she thought she had lost forever: the belief that good people still exist. Conclusion: weeks later, the mansion is empty. The company has a new owner. Jack puts on a simple button-down shirt to go to his new job as a department manager. It's a massive step down from being a CEO, but it's an honest living. Tien wakes up at 4 a.m., kissing his cheek before heading to the market to set up her vegetables. Mom Loy sweeps the floor of the small rented house she now shares with Uncle Jun. There was no miraculous rescue. They paid the ultimate price for their mistakes and misplaced trust. But as they sit down for a simple dinner in their cramped new kitchen, the crushing weight of secrets is gone. They can look each other in the eye. The money is gone. The status is gone. The illusion of perfection is gone. But what remains is unbreakable. They survived the worst storm of their lives, and they did it by finally choosing honesty over pride. They realized that the most valuable things a person can possess, trust, unconditional love, and family, cannot be mortgaged to a bank and cannot be stolen by a scammer. And for the first time in a very long time, Jack smiles. The worst has happened, and they are still standing.